I was headed to the top, and then the lightning and rain started coming real hard. I just was getting ready to go up this ridge right here, and lightning hit right on the other side of it because I just saw a flash and just heard rain and wind I can handle. Lightning scares the crap out of me. This mountain range attracts so much lightning. Last night was one of the most incredible lightning shows I had ever seen. So this is not a mountain that you want to screw around with. When the locals tell you when a storm rolls in to get off the mountain, then you get off the mountain.
Much of north central Nevada looks just as it did when the pioneers traveled west more than a century ago. Northern Nevada's climate is dry. In fact, Nevada is the driest state in the United States, with an average overall precipitation of about 7 inches of rain per year. But you wouldn't guess it from the weather this week. In this part of the country, it's not uncommon for flash flooding and severe lightning storms to happen at any time, especially in the late summer and early fall.
Guess it is gonna rain. It's been so windy, this big lens really didn't even do me any good.
If the torrential rains and high winds don't keep you off the mountain, then in all likelihood, the lightning will.
Still got a nasty storm coming in. Rain, lightning, thunder. I don't mind rain, I don't mind wind. Lightning scares the crap out of me.
Almost all of Nevada belongs physiographically to the Great Basin, a plateau characterized by isolated mountain ranges separated by arid basins. These ranges generally trend north and south, and most are short, up to 75 miles long and relatively narrow at 15 miles wide. They can also rise to altitudes of 7,000 to 10,000 feet.
Getting after it.
This area that I'll be hunting this season is very typical to most of Nevada's terrain. This range is very narrow and yet relatively steep alpine faces with rolling juniper hills down below. My plan for this week is very typical to early season mountain hunting in the West. Go high and use your glass. This country is wide open with relatively little cover for big bucks to hide. That is one reason that I love hunting this part of the state. This time of year, the bucks are very visible and very killable, but as we all know with bow hunting, there are no guarantees.
That's why I keep hopping over the ridge. Whenever I make a stalk, I like to get where I can always keep checking and making sure that they're in their bed, because those bucks just got out of their bed, walking, now they're gonna rim right across that other little ridge. The first buck I saw was a stroker. Found a couple of really nice bucks tonight. Got up on the mountain, they fed off the other direction. I knew I probably wouldn't have a chance to get after them, but the key was to find a couple of bucks. And tonight I'm gonna camp up here. I'm about 2 miles down the mountain, safe distance away from them. Go ahead and get my camp set up, and that way I can be really pretty close, or I can do some glassing in the morning. I opted to go with the tent rather than a bivvy, just because they're calling for rain. Rain, lightning, thunder. The Big Agnes is home sweet home for the next week, or for the next couple of days, or next day, depending on if I get lucky and kill a deer or not.
Brought to you by Solo Hunter Rifle Covers, your gun's best protection against the elements.
Until I'm ready to pull the trigger, this cover is on my rifle. I have this thing on my rifle all the time. If I need to get it off quick, it just pops off real quick. A series of elastic bands holding it. Great tool.
If you want to see more from behind the scenes or get some exclusive mobile content, connect with us on our website or social media at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Just put those bucks that I found last night to bed, and I thought they were gonna bed right next to this rock ledge, you know, in a real vulnerable spot. And I think where they're at now, I think I can get to them, but they bed right out in the sagebrush. So it looks like it's gonna be their all-day bed, because there's nothing really close to them that they would move to as the sun comes around. And the way they buried themselves inside that brush, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be their all-day bed. So, which is good, because it's going to take me all day to get up the mountain and around. Wondering why I'm not up on the mountain chasing those bucks yet? That's why. There's one coming from back here. There's another storm coming over here, lightning cracking, and then lightning popping back over here. So the bucks are bedded right below this ridge, right behind me, and they're just kind of in this little pocket. I think if I can get up this ridge, come up around the back side of that mountain, and come down on top of them, I think I'll be able to get within 50, 60 yards of them, if I'm lucky. So, if they don't move. I mean, it's already 1 o'clock, but this storm's probably gonna have me pinned down for a little bit. I don't mind rain, I don't mind wind. Lightning scares the crap out of me.
For the last 2 days, I've been hiking my brains out, but because of my small fear for lightning, I've held back. But today, the bucks are in a super vulnerable spot, and I'm gonna lay my fears aside and give it a go. I'm going to methodically plan this stalk as though it's the only opportunity I'm gonna have all season long.
You know, it's kind of ironic. 2 years ago, I was chasing these exact same bucks, these same 2 bucks, in this exact same draw. And 2 years ago, it was the lightning that was pushing me off the mountain, because I didn't want to get caught in the storm. And so I didn't go after him, and I ended up not killing a deer that year. This year I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going up the mountain. Still got a nasty storm coming in. And it's blue skies here, which is kind of the direction the wind's coming from, so I keep anticipating the blue skies to come. But the storm is brewing. Playing the percentages, I guess. Odds are you're not gonna get struck by lightning, but there is a chance. Made it up to the top. So now I'm just gonna work around this backside, go around here around this rock outcropping, and then work my way down. I'm gonna keep glassing the bases of these trees and in these shadows because you never know, there could be another big buck bedded anywhere in here. So hopefully they're still in their beds. I'll be able to see them, so good luck. Now we're in the zone. Slipped on this rock, fell on my butt. Rock went rolling down the hill. And the bucks didn't hear me fall. They looked and watched the rock roll down the hill. Then they stood there. I could have stuck one, and it was about 55 yards. And then when I ranged them, after they walked down a bit, it was like 61. Could have stuck him, but didn't want him. But now they've just gone right back down and laid back down right in their same bed. So now that I'm done farting around, pooping around, I'll get back up in here and make a plan to get set up for the bigger bucks.
Lucky for me, while I was on the backside of the mountain, the big bucks must have gotten out of their beds and repositioned. But I found them, and I'm gonna ease on down the ridge to see if I can still make a play.
Can't honestly say that I've ever done that before, but I was kind of laying on my side, filming, had the camera in great position, and then as I reached up to turn the camera just a little bit, I think the buck kind of saw some movement. I drew back on my side here and came up, and just as I was getting ready, I released, and that lower limb just smashed me in the thigh. To add to that injury, I guess, right as I turned around and looked, my GoPro that I have mounted off the back of the camera was dead. So you didn't even get a second angle of that, and I'm not going to recreate it. I just showed it to you here. But, oh shoot, don't tip over the camera. It happened. Missed the deer, and that's all there is to it. So I'm going to get down to this spring and fill up, get hydrated as much as I can, and then I'm just gonna sit there till dark. But with any luck, maybe I'll get lucky and a deer will come into the spring. Who knows? I'm out.
Brought to you by Solo Hunter Brand Apparel and the Solo Nation. Boast your brand today and join the Solo Hunter revolution.
After my unfortunate mistake on the big 4x4 last night, I'm a little bit dejected. But the fortunate thing is, the bucks weren't that spooked. Yes, they saw me, and yes, they knew something wasn't right, but I had the wind. And as is often, but not always the case, as creatures of habit, they're right back in here the very next night.
They should be feeding my way. I peeked up over the top, and I could see antlers. I can see antler tips coming, but they're sure taking their time. If they don't get here before the sun goes down, I'm going after them. thought, okay, this is as far as I can go. So got a good range on them. Drew back, sat up, and just as I was, bringing the pins on in, they blew and bounced. I have gotten a long hike down to the quad. I better call my wife real quick, let her know I'm okay and I didn't get anything. It's gonna be a late night, long night. It was fun, good stock. Got in on them. I was just waiting for them to feed, and they just wouldn't feed. They just wouldn't feed to me. They were feeding down. So I knew I had to get to them, and I did it about right. But I didn't see the big 3x5 bedded, and he jumped up and saw me. The other buck was just feeding, and every time he'd put his head down, I'd just sneak a little closer. But that's the way it worked out. So see y'all back at camp.
The way I look at things, I played the game and I won. Well, sort of. I found the buck I wanted to go after, I waited until he seemingly made a mistake, and then I made my move. I got right into where I needed to be to make a good kill, and then I blew it. So I guess you could say that I played the game well, and I got the shot, but at the end of the day, it was a dumb mistake on my part that allowed the buck to live another day. I've got to go home for now, but the season is still young. I'll be back in a week or two to close out this hunt and hopefully find these two beasts right where I left them. Only I think by then, they'll be a little bit wiser.